You've carried people through their worst days. You've been the rock when everyone else was crumbling. But now you're drowning, and you still can't ask for help. What if the thing that made you strong is the same thing keeping you trapped? You know the feeling. Someone asks, "Are you okay?" And even though you're not, even though you're barely holding it together, you smile and say, "I'm fine." Because somewhere along the way, you became the strong one, the person others lean on, the solver of problems, the emotional pillar. And now that identity is a cage. You watch others receive support effortlessly. They cry, they vent, they collapse into someone's arms. And a part of you wonders, why can't I do that? But when you try, your throat tightens, your chest locks up, the words won't come. Because asking for help feels like admitting you're not who everyone thinks you are. It feels like betrayal, like failure, like the entire structure will collapse if you stop holding it up. Here's what you need to understand. You're not broken. You're not weak. You're experiencing something psychologists call caretaker identity rigidity. And it's not a character flaw. It's a learned survival pattern. One that once protected you, but now imprisons you. Let me show you what's happening in your brain. From a young age, you likely learned something critical. Your needs made people uncomfortable. Maybe your parents were overwhelmed. Maybe showing vulnerability led to dismissal or punishment. Maybe you had to grow up too fast. So your brain did what brains do. It adapted. It learned that strength equals safety, that usefulness equals love, that being needed equals valued. Neuroscientists call this operant conditioning. You were rewarded, consciously or unconsciously, for being strong, for not needing, for giving instead of receiving. And over time, this became wired into your identity, your sense of self. Your brain built what's called a self-schema, a mental framework for who you are. And in that schema, you are the helper, never the helped. Here's the problem. Your brain now treats asking for help as a threat to identity integrity. When you even think about being vulnerable, your amygdala fires up. It triggers what psychologists call identity protective cognition. Your mind floods with thoughts. They won't understand. I'm burdening them. I should be able to handle this. These aren't truths. They're defense mechanisms. Your brain is trying to protect the identity that once kept you safe, even though that safety is now a prison. So how do you break free? Not through force, not by just doing it, but by rewiring the pattern gently, strategically. Step 1. Separate identity from strategy. Understand this distinction. Being strong is a strategy. It's not who you are. It's what you learned to do. Journal this sentence. I learned to be strong because I needed to survive. That was brilliant, but survival mode is not a permanent home. This creates what psychologists call cognitive diffusion, distance between you and the pattern. You're not rejecting strength. You're recognizing it as a tool, not a prison. Step 2. Micro-vulnerability exposure. You can't go from zero to asking for deep help overnight. Your nervous system won't allow it. So start microscopic. Ask someone to hold a door. Let someone buy you coffee. Say, actually, I'm having a rough day when someone asks. These aren't about the favor. They're about exposure therapy. You're teaching your brain receiving doesn't equal collapse. Each micro-vulnerability rewires the neural pathway slightly. Your amygdala learns this isn't dangerous. Step 3. Reframe help as exchange, not debt. Your brain resists help because it codes it as asymmetry, as weakness, as owing. But psychologists who study relationships know healthy connection requires bidirectional vulnerability. When you never need help, you deny others the gift of mattering. You create a one-way street, and that's not strength. That's isolation disguised as independence. Reframe it. Allowing someone to help me is giving them the experience I've always given others. You're not taking, you're allowing mutuality. Step 4. Name the inner critic. There's a voice in your head that says, "You're being dramatic. Other people have it worse. You should be able to handle this." That voice isn't wisdom. It's what psychologists call the internalized caretaker, the voice of whoever taught you that your needs were too much. Give it a name. Externalize it. When it speaks, say, "Thank you for trying to protect me, but I'm safe now. I can need things." This activates your prefrontal cortex, the rational brain, and overrides the automatic fear response. Step 5. Build a vulnerability scaffold. Start with people who have already proven safe. Not everyone, not strangers. Choose one person who has shown up consistently, held space without fixing, and demonstrated reciprocity. Tell them something small but true. Watch what happens. Most likely, they'll respond with care, and your brain will log new data. Receiving didn't equal collapse. Each micro-vulnerability rewires the neural pathway slightly. Your amygdala learns this isn't dangerous. Here's the simple mental model to carry with you. Strength without vulnerability is armor. Vulnerability without strength is collapse. True resilience lives in the overlap. It's knowing you can hold yourself and also knowing when to let others hold you. The strong one complex isn't about being strong. It's about being only strong. And that's not strength. That's self-abandonment. You've spent years carrying others, and that mattered. It still matters. But you were never meant to carry everything alone. The people who love you, though, they don't love you because you're unbreakable. They love you because you're you. And you, the full you, includes the parts that need, that hurt, that can't do it alone. Asking for help isn't weakness. It's the most honest thing you can do. It's saying, "I'm human, and I trust you enough to let you see that." So start small. Start today. And remember, the strongest thing you've ever done might be letting someone catch you. You're not broken. You're just learning a new kind of strength.